So how did this start, Dries? I think it was actually New York almost 2 years back.
It seems a long time ago, and it seems also like yesterday.
After, I think I did more than 30 trips to Antwerp to come and see you, to get this conversation going.
So it's now, I think, the final result looks really good. So it was a lot of work, a lot of effort, but I think we can be proud now.
From the beginning, it was obvious that this was not going to be a chronological exhibition, but it was going to really present all the themes that were important to Dries throughout his almost 30-year career now. So there's a first floor that is very intimate about all of the themes that are reoccurring in his vocabulary. And the second floor is more of a garden, an incredible imaginary garden that shows all of the stylistic references that you can find in his work. And together it tells this powerful story of Dries and, you know, his place in fashion history today. It was never a question of retrospective, at least for me in any case. It's always about prospection and not retrospection. And one of the things that I was the most touched by was how you included our work in your 2 Spring-Summer 2014 collections, that it really inspired and it was sparked the creative process, which we're going to share with the public with this exhibition.
For me also, it was really not about retrospective. For me, no, retrospective, this I'm not ready for. And I don't know also if my work needs to be shown in retrospective. I prefer to show really all the clash of all the different elements, to show all these beautiful things together, and that it just can tell a beautiful story. Of course, narrowing down for me is always difficult, to focus and to edit. But
even with 15,000 square feet.
Even with 15,000 square feet. No, but it's on the other hand, it's also nice, because at the end you have to go to the essence of who you are. And I think that's what you're going to see also now. I hope that people really see the beauty of fashion, the beauty of our profession, the beauty of I'm such a lucky person that I can make fashion and can make clothes and all these things. So that for me is very important, and I hope that they take with them a little bit the joy of that thing.
I hope that the journey that this exhibition provides each of the visitors will be a joyful and happy one. It's a very emotional journey. And in that journey, I hope they'll love what they see, but it will confront them with new conversations and spark a different way of looking at things. And if we are able to do that, that's a very successful thing. There's a lot of logistical challenges with an exhibition like this. There's over 400 pieces of very different types of artwork. So our teams have been working quite a lot.
Intensely.
Intensely, definitely, to put that together. The fact that we do have spaces that are cased was, at the beginning, quite a challenge for Dries.
This was really like a problem for me, because I like that people are in contact with clothes and that you can go close by. But of course, the glass, it was a problem then, but now helps us a lot, but that we have the possibility to put all those things together.
And somewhere that constraint actually made you work around the space, and you've created this incredible, intimate, almost like a house. You're in somebody's home.
I think that's one of the nice surprises of the exhibition. When you walk there, you feel like visiting a house. You lose a little bit the coldness of a museum. You really go from one space to another, and you go from one atmosphere to another.
One of the things that was obvious from the very beginning was that Dries knows exactly what he likes and what he doesn't, but also it's about putting things into context. It's about balancing, it's about finding the perfect fit. So it's not just one single object, it's about how to create the story around that object. So although there were beautiful pieces that were selected, they will not be exhibited, because it's about talking and sharing a cohesive story.
It was difficult, because, of course, when you go through the archive of the museum, you see incredible things, and then sometimes you have to be hard and say, sorry, this we don't show, because it's too much, it's confusing, it's not maybe the right combination with other pieces. For me, it was important to put also like the end 70s, early 80s back in the picture. So where the museum has now also incredible pieces of Montana and Mugler, all those things. So that for me, it's all those things also. Luckily enough, also we're going to have now the next exhibition in Antwerp, which enables us also to show other pieces, which is also very exciting. Never again.
I think in the 20 years that I've been mounting exhibitions, this is probably the most personal that I've ever encountered, and of a designer who has been so hands-on. And from the beginning, it was quite obvious that this was going to be very hands-on. But I think that's probably the importance of this exhibition, that it is so personal. It's rare that a designer opens up. It is quite an intimate exhibition. And it's about the creative process, which is also something that most people never speak about, whether they be artists or any creative people. First and foremost, it's about the mystery of what goes on behind the scenes. And here you're sharing that. And I think that it's a very rich experience for the visitor, a first time.
Pamela.
For me, what makes this exhibition so special is the intimate aspect. I mean, Dries really opened up, and I think when we think of Dries, we think of someone who's quite reserved and very discreet, of which you are. But when you start talking, you'd love to talk, and I think this exhibition is about that conversation. And it is so intimate that it's a very subjective exhibition. And it's quite incredible to get into the mind of a designer and actually show that to the public. And that's probably going to be the biggest success. Obviously, we have been able to gather some incredible masterpieces in fashion history, but also in art history, in photography, in videos. I mean, it's really a very rich exhibition, but it's about the creative process, and that's what's so incredible.
I think this exhibition is special because, it's not often that you see the combination of all those elements. And I want to show a lot. I think it's the first time that I show so much of how I work and so much of my creative process, and also about me, my personality. I think there also, the book also was a good way to work on the exhibition, because the book I didn't have really so much experience with. The exhibition I had no experience at all. So sometimes things became more clear the moment that I started to work on the book, how we had also to translate that to the exhibition.
There were funny moments, especially when each time we saw Dries, I would bring a copy of the painting that he had asked for, and it said,
yes, no, maybe.
And all of those yeses were great.
But the yeses, of course, were really surprising. Sometimes I was so happy. It's really like a spoiled child that like got another beautiful present. So
I brought lots.
You brought?
I brought lots of nice presents.
Really.
No, I think what's so incredible about this exhibition is that it's not about art. It's not about fashion. It's really about creation, and that's what this passion that Dries has wanted to share. I think for me what was so enriching was to be able to see all of the museum curators present the project and see how enthusiastic they were immediately in allowing us to have some of their incredible masterpieces within our institution and within the journey that we're preparing for the visitor. I was at the beginning a little skeptical. I mean, this is quite an unusual way of looking at fashion and fashion exhibitions. It's actually never been done before, and that's what has been so exciting. And the fact that all of the museum professionals, as well as galleries and artists themselves, have been so forthcoming and so helpful and so excited about the project has definitely been an extremely enriching experience. I still remember many months ago walking across to see my colleague at the Musée du Louvre and explain to him why we wanted a Bronzino portrait in the exhibition. And I have to say I was a little dazzled by the whole thing. And we sat down and we spoke for over an hour. He was so excited. And he said, of course, he can come over. And this is a Bronzino portrait that was bought by Louis XIV and is actually now leaving the permanent gallery spaces of the Louvre to come over to us and be part of our exhibition. And he also served as a starting point for one of your last collections.
For the collection, indeed, yeah. They are restoring for the moment the museum in Antwerp. So we were already spoiled with the Bronzino and all these things, but then I said, like, it would be very nice to have also something typical Belgian, really like one of the Antwerp painters, not Belgium, but even real more Antwerp. And then we contacted Paul Huven, and he was also immediately very enthusiastic, and he said, oh, you know something, I have a Van Dyck standing there, which could be maybe possible for Paris. And then it turns out it's a magnificent one. So they're going to be also in the exhibition.
My first ever fashion exhibition, I was, I think,